Okay, welcome back. The title of this web presentation, this is number 2 out of 3, is How to Build a Fitness Identity Built to Last. And I think this is one of the most powerful topics when it comes to making the real profound shift. And each time that I work with a client individually, whether it's a personal training client or a coaching client, this is the one that actually makes the most dramatic impact. And most of you probably have already experienced that with the conversations we may have had about building a fitness identity. But building a fitness identity takes you from looking to get healthier or lose weight or attempting to eat better or attempting to exercise more to bringing you to the level of being that person that automatically does those things. So it brings back an identity for yourself where your behavior is automatic. So what I'm going to do is give you a little more detail on this process, even though we may have gone through this with coaching or on a call. But I want to give you a little more structure to it so that you can remember it and reinforce it when it really comes time to you to continue on working out and eating well as the entire year goes forward. You'll see how much power you'll have with a different identity. Now, this is derived from a neurolinguistic programming model, which is by Robert Dilts, a neurological levels model, and then also Mike Catton, an NLP master practitioner, kind of fused it with some fitness concepts as well. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. And if you think of a pyramid, a structure that's built to last, the Dilts model basically utilizes how we behave and feel in the world by examining questions where we ask these questions regarding our environment, our behavior, our capability, our beliefs, and then ultimately our identity. And that ends up determining what we're really thinking about and how we're moving forward with certain behaviors. So if you were to look at the base there of the pyramid, that's the environment. So when and where. That pretty much means that if you have a limitation of environment, that you're limiting yourself to not being able to do something because you're basically not in the right environment to do it. So, I don't have a gym membership, so I can't work out. The second one is what is the behavior. I just can't do that. Basically being in a situation where you're not just simply not going to do it. The third is capability, which is how, which means you may have some issues with competency, that you may be in the right environment, you may be willing to do it, but you simply don't know how to do what you need to do. For example, how to do certain exercises, how to eat well, how to balance your workouts, or how to arrange the program for your workouts and things like that. The second one is beliefs. You may know that you're in the right environment. You may know that you want to do it. You may know how to do it. But you may not have some conviction about why you really, really must behave this way and do this activity of working out or eating well. And as you get to the top, these structures get more and more powerful, because at the very top, you may be in the environment, you may be willing to do the exercise, you may know how to do it, you may know why, but the final barrier for many people is they just don't feel like an athletic person, or they just don't feel like an exerciser, or they don't consider themselves to have the role and the identity of someone who has optimum fitness. And that's what we want to do, is we want to get you beyond that hang up there about the identity, because even though you weren't maybe a super athletic kid growing up, you can take on new identities, whether that is as a dancer or as a fitness instructor, or as someone who's, a super fit mom, or someone who's really just, you're going to create this identity. And we covered this with the RPM fitness plan of basically creating an outline for your fitness category of improvement. So to create an identity around your fitness just expands the identity that you have, and it allows you to really build up a new behavior pattern based on this identity. So I'm going to go over some questions here to let you see how this kind of breaks down, and then encourage you to really create this identity for yourself, or reinforce it if you've already created it. So number one is the environmental challenge. Most people make the excuse of not making a change in their health and fitness because they simply believe that they're not in the right environment, or they don't have access to the right environment. So that's like being at home and saying, oh, well, I don't have a gym membership, I can't do that here. So that's basically the excuse. And that can be a limitation if you don't have the proper equipment and things like that. But the most important thing to remember about breaking free with this is generating the understanding and belief in yourself that your body is your gym. Your body is your gym. So I've already sent some body weight exercises with one of the calls and the email. And there's really nothing you can't do with your own body weight in your own home. Like, I mean, even as crazy as someone in a prison cell can create their own workout inside of a cell by doing squats and lunges and push-ups and so forth. So let's just say that you had eliminated the environment as a barrier, and you're now believing that you can exercise anywhere, anytime, and you're ready to work out even at home. Well, then, if that's not a problem, okay, let's see if we get past that. Well, if that's not a problem, and you're there at home, and you know that you can work out at home, but you just simply have a behavioral challenge that says, well, I can't do that. So even though you know that you can exercise in the house, you feel like, well, you just can't do that. You can't do the exercises. You just don't feel like you have the capability to do the exercises. Well, the way that I help you break through that is we really have to take it simple. Yes, you may not be able to do 20, 50, or 100 push-ups, but you can maybe work on doing one basic push-up, or just holding yourself in place to challenge yourself to get to the next level. Or you may not be able to squat all the way down, but you can basically attempt the movements of the squats. And the thing about it is there's so many different examples of exercise instruction online, being that there's YouTube. One example is bodyrock.tv, where there's a woman who works out at home, like all over different homes all over the world and things like that. So that's why I didn't necessarily want this particular program to just be about exercise instruction, because I've been in gyms and I've been showing people exercises, all kinds of exercises. And I know that the biggest hang up for people is not the opportunity to find exercise instruction. That's not the biggest hang up. The biggest hang up is the psychological willpower and the motivation to take on these new feelings and behaviors about working out. So again, to get past this behavioral challenge of you can't do all this exercise, or you can't do these exercises, what you want to do is start slow, start small, and you can walk, hopefully, and you can lift groceries or lift bags from the mall or shopping. So there's a possibility that you can do some curls or some crunches or some push-ups or some of those basic exercises, as long as you start with 1, 2, 3. If you can't run, you can walk. If you can't jog, maybe you could walk uphill somewhere. Maybe you could walk up some steps. So there's always something that you can do if you can move forward toward better exercise habits. Now, the third level is maybe you have the maybe you have the capability, but you're telling yourself you can't do it. You're just continuing to tell yourself you can't do it. And it's primarily because you maybe just don't know how. And this one is also a mixture between capability and competency. And when you have a challenge like that, it's because you don't know how to do it correctly. And some of you are very much perfectionists. So, and I know that because I have clients that have been like that, and I understand it. And what it is that, okay, you know that you have the capability of working out. You know that you can maybe walk up some stairs or do some squats or some push-ups, but you don't even let yourself do 1 or 2 or 10 of them because you feel like you're not going to do any of them right. So you don't do any of them at all. And so what this is a call for you to break free of that perfectionism, of not knowing exactly how to do it. And like I said, if you have YouTube videos or DVDs or exercise instructions, just find something that's general, that's basic, that will give you the instruction of how to do it properly. Now, if you actually do go into the environment of the gym and set yourself up to win in that way, then, like, for example, my personal training or, finding a personal trainer, yes, then you can have some more specific instruction. And for the most part, a personal trainer should also be educating you on how to do things so that you kind of can build some independence and be able to walk into any gym, any exercise environment, or even any house and say, oh, you know what, if I had this and this and this, I would know how to do this correctly. And again, there's plenty of information on doing things correctly, so don't allow this to be an excuse to prevent you from doing it. So break through that perfectionism, okay, and just get out there, start doing active physical activities, and follow the programs, the plans that I send, as well as some of the information you see in other places. Now, number 4 is, even though you're maybe attempting to do all these exercises. Let's say you've broken through all the other ones and you're doing exercises. You feel like you're doing them fairly correctly, but you just stop after so many of them, or you don't continue the habits or the patterns to do them consistently. Well, that's because you have a challenge in beliefs. You may not believe that actually doing the exercise is going to do anything for you. You may believe that you're going to gain the weight back, and you're just saying, I can't make this happen, I can't make this result. And that's a very powerful level of challenges, to have a belief challenge. But to break through for a belief challenge, we have to look at the limiting belief, and we have to break that pattern. So if you start having these thoughts or these feelings that you can't do something, you have to break that pattern, stand up strong, and get into a state where you feel a sense of certainty that, yes, you can. I mean, it sounds like Obama or something here, but you have to feel, yes, I can. Yes, I can make this change, and keep affirming that so that you build a feeling of belief and certainty. And that's pretty much what belief and certainty is. Certainty is a feeling of belief, a strong belief that you have that certainty, that you can do something. And once you're able to break free from that, the only other final barrier that's stopping you from getting the results you want with your body is level 5, the identity challenge. And like I said, this is the one I think most people just hit an absolute wall in, because, like, for me, I grew up from the age of 2 or 3 kicking around soccer balls and playing sports, and I've always viewed myself as a soccer player as a big, huge chunk of my identity. So when it came to eating well and working out, it was always so I could play more on the soccer field, or I could always feel like I have that ability to continue to play. For some people, it's dancing. For some people, it's martial arts. For some people, it's yoga. For some people, it's being a rock climber. For some people, it's being a tennis player or a runner or a marathoner or a triathlete. And I can tell you without a doubt that it's important for you to take on some kind of fitness role for yourself. Choose an activity that you really, really enjoy, and you want to become that type of person. And when you do that, you're not going to be focusing on losing the X amount of weight. You want to focus on bettering yourself as that type of person. So for example, if you're a dancer, you want to focus on being a better dancer. So you're going to focus on the skills and the enjoyment and the benefits and all the exciting things that go around with being a dancer or being a yoga instructor. You're going to focus on all the people you want to help while you're traveling and doing yoga. Or if you're going to be a martial artist or an athlete, you're perfecting your moves, you're perfecting your skills, and with that activity, you become that person. And the process of losing weight, it's not registering in your mind, but at the same time, you're losing the weight, and your focus begins to shift. And then when you're also encountered with challenges of people that are encouraging you to step away from that identity, then you're going to tell yourself, nope, I am this, so I don't do this. It's like people who smoke. A lot of people who smoke, usually the nicotine and things like that is about 10% of the problem. The other 90% of the problem is psychology, because the person says, oh, I'm Bob and I am having trouble quitting smoking. And I'm a smoker and I'm just trying to quit. Well, if Bob says, I don't smoke, I'm a non-smoker, I don't smoke, I'm not a smoker, then that changes the identity of what is that person. It's not just, I'm not a smoker trying to quit, I'm just not a smoker at all. So the identity level is where you being an athlete, an exerciser, a fitness enthusiast, and I encourage you to pick names that are exciting and fun. Like, pick a name about it that is really powerful and empowering, like world-class, dance phenomenon, or, super martial artist, or, world-class warrior, whatever it is that helps you claim that identity, so that when you think about eating well and exercising, you step right into that identity. All right, so this was a simple one. This was a very powerful one, though. And if you have any questions, just put it in the comments there. I'm glad to answer, or just send me an email. And also just share with one another what your identities are. And that way, when you pick an identity, you can kind of affirm it with the group, and everybody can kind of see how this can build into a lot of success and a lot of results for everyone. All right, so I look forward to talking to you on the next one. Take care.